Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 24, and today we are returning with a brand new season as our fourth year gets underway with European football at Carrow Road. Today we'll take a look at how pre-season went, play our first game of the season away against Burnley, and of course have the transfer special as well. Let's get to that first. And I think I need to retire the saying, don't talk about spend, talk about net spend, because that is probably never going to be appropriate in this save ever again. It was an incredibly expensive transfer window, our most expensive of this save. We had our worst net loss of the save as well. So yeah, it was a crazy expensive window, but I'll tell you this right now, it's an amazing Norwich team for the new season. I can't wait to show you it. But of course, we will start with the departures as always and show you who left the club in the summer. And you see quite a few players left on frees, particularly young players that had no kind of sort of future here. Louis Thompson did leave on a free to San Jose Earthquakes in the MLS. You can see we loaned out a couple of players as well. Also, Timu Pukki left too. And Grant Hanley, former club captain, he's now gone to Birmingham City for £4 million. Last year was out on loan at Hibernian in the SPL, and now he's gone to St Andrews. But the most noteworthy sale of the lot was the fans player of the season in the first 2 years. That's right, Tom Tribal has left the club on a permanent deal and joined Newcastle United for £14 million as he goes to St James's Park. He had our best pass completion ratio in the save, but at 29 years old, out of contract come the end of this season, I wasn't going to give him a new deal, and I was totally fine letting it go for £14 million, well, 13.5 mil. I think it's a pretty decent sale, all things considered. So yeah, loads of players left the club, but again, no major departures. Other than Tom Tribal, nobody really significant left the club in the summer. Fabianski, by the way, has retired. Not sure why it's not showing there, but Lucas Fabianski has now retired. But that's who left the club anyway. And as I always say, keeping the core of the players here was most important. We've done that, and I must say, with the size of the club, we've got the best Norwich team we've ever had, and I can't wait to show you who we've brought up. So yeah, let's take a look at the signings, and I'll reveal them one by one from least interesting to most interesting. Let's get to it. What a window, and what a Norwich team we've got for season 4. And we're going to start off with a classic Docs veteran dressing room leader freebie. That's right, Marcelo has arrived on a 1-year contract here at Carrow Road, and I am so happy to have the Brazilian in. Now, Marcelo, as we know, spent well over a decade playing for the Galacticos at Real Madrid, the Bernabeu, and was always a regular and their starter in their team. Now, the past 2 years after being released by Real Madrid, he went to Russia and played for CSK Moscow, but again, you can see he's not been left on the scrap heap. He's still been playing competitive match experience there in Russia, but after being released by CSK Moscow, we snapped him up on a 1-year deal. It's just £14,000 a week, so not a pricey contract at all, and he gets an automatic 1-year extension. He plays 5 Premier League games, which I doubt is going to happen. But Marcelo is in, and I'm so happy for 2 different reasons as well. One, we needed European experience, and as we know, Marcelo's got a load of that in abundance after playing for Real Madrid for so many years, and he's also a winner as well. Marcelo's won the Copa America with Brazil, he's won the Super Cup in Spain, he's won the Copa del Rey, he's won the FIFA Club World Cup, he's won the UEFA Super Cup, he's won La Liga, he's won the Champions League. Marcelo is a winner. So to have him in this Norwich team, this is what we needed. European experience, now we're in Europe, and also a winner in our dressing room as well. So really happy to have him in, and also technically as well, even at 34 years old, technically, Marcelo's still got it. 17 crossing, 15 dribbling, 19 first touch, 16 passing, 13 tackling, not bad, and also 18 for technique as well. Mentally, really good stats here as well, with 18 flair and 16 off the ball, jumping out for you as well, and 13 leadership is good as a dressing room leader. Less said about the physical stats, the better, but either way, Marcelo is in, and as a backup left back for Jamal Lewis, he's described as an emergency backup, and I'm really happy about this. A winner, European experience, and technically too, he's still got it, Marcelo. Love it. And I've just showed you one dressing room leader. Why not show you another? Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It's really feeling like a Docs Football Manager save now, isn't it? The veteran dressing room leaders coming in abundance, and welcome to Carrow Road, our Arturo Vidal with these mental stats. Oh, I tell you, I was close to orgasm when he agreed to put pen to paper here. I can't get over how amazing these stats are. You guys know I'm a sucker for the mental stats more than any other, and I'm so happy to have Arturo Vidal in. Now, just like Marcelo, Arturo Vidal adds something that we don't have here at Carrow Road, we didn't have here at Carrow Road. European experience, and also, just like Marcelo, the Chilean is a serial winner. He's won it all with Bayern Munich, Juventus, and Barcelona. The Serie A, the Supercoppa, the TIM Cup, the Coppa Italia, if you will, the Bundesliga, the DFB Pokal, the Copa del Rey, La Liga. He's won so many things throughout the course of his career, and he arrives here after being released by Juventus after returning to Turin for the past 2 seasons on a 1-year contract, £16,000 a week, with an automatic extension if he plays 15 league games. But like Marcelo, I doubt that's going to happen. But Arturo Vidal, again, like the Brazilian, physically, not great, but 80 in natural fitness means that he's not done just yet. And again, technically, like the Brazilian, he's still got it. 14 first touch, 14 heading, 15 marking, 14 passing, 16 tackling, and 15 technique. And again, the mental stats on Vidal are absolutely... just jaw-dropping, aren't they? 20 aggression, 19 bravery, 15 composure, 16 concentration, 20 determination. That's the holy grail of stats for me. With 20 work rate alongside it as well. These two are my favourite stats in the game, and he's maxed out at 20. He's also got 14 for teamwork, not bad, and 16 leadership, as he'll be a dressing room leader in this Carrow Road Norwich City team. So happy to have him in. He's got European experience, winners experience, and again, as a dressing room leader for the young lads, so happy to have him and Marcelo in to show the Norwich players and the Norwich core how you've got to perform in Europe and what you've got to do in order to win all these accolades that the two of them have had throughout the course of their careers. Marcelo in, Vidal in, 2 dressing room leaders, and I'm absolutely loving it. But those are the only 2, I promise. There's no more dressing room leaders, but I love them. I love them to pieces. But 4 more signings to go. It's a difficult choice for which one I'll show you next. I'll tell you what, we'll go with what possibly could be the biggest bargain of the window, and I must say, I'm so surprised that this is all the Red Devils wanted for him. Say hello to your new backup goalkeeper, Norwich City fans, Dean Henderson. Yes, Henderson is in, and what an absolute steal this is for the 25-year-old that's now been capped 17 times by England. And all we had to pay to get him was £6.75 million. That's right, it's an absolute steal for an England international. And Manchester United didn't want to hold him there against his will. They put him on the transfer list, and what a signing. 6.75 mil to get him, absolute steal. No clauses or anything like that, just a straight 6.75 mil deal. No minimum fee release clause in his contract, which is, to be fair, very pricey. £65,000 a week to pay his salary, but it's a 5-year deal, no release clauses, and Henderson's got some absolutely fantastic stats as well. 15 one-on-ones, 15 reflexes, 13 positioning, not the best, but either way, 16 determination. That's the most important stats. So really good balanced goalkeeping stats here, and not too bad with speed either, with 15 for kicking and 14 for passing. That's important for us as we operate with a sweeper keeper, and again, an absolute steal at just £6.75 million. I would say the biggest bargain in the window. He's an England international now, and is he going to take over as our first choice goalkeeper here, or will he be a backup for Farines? We'll find out throughout the course of the season, but what a steal though. £6.75 million for Dean Henderson, absolute bargain. 4th signing of 6, and I'm sure you guys won't be surprised to see this guy here at a Norwich team this season. Yes, when we were playing Newcastle last season, I said he was going to be one of my primary targets if the Magpies were to get relegated. They did get relegated, and I did manage to snap him up. Welcome to Carrow Road, Matty Longstaff, and I've got to say, I'm so happy about this deal as well. Longstaff is best operating as a box-to-box midfielder, and I think he's going to be the perfect CM partner to play alongside Sander Berge through the middle of the park. Longstaff physically is pretty decent, 16 stamina, you got to love that, with 14 strength, 14 pace, 14 balance, and 14 acceleration. I do wish the natural fitness was a little bit higher. I'm surprised it's not, but either way, still some good physical stats there. Technically too, very nicely balanced here, 13 dribbling, 12 finishing, not bad in the box-to-box, with 14 first touch and 14 long shots, with 15 for passing, 13 tackling, and 13 technique, with 12 marking. So we can do the defensive side and also operate on the offensive end too, but mentally, really nicely well balanced stats here. Look how many 14s he's got in the mental stats, along some 15s too. 15 determination, 15 teamwork, 18 work rate. You gotta love that trio there, and really just all round Matty Longstaff is good everywhere. There's very little negative to his game, so very happy to have him in. So Longstaff joins, 22.5 mils, market valuation shot up by an extra 11 million once we signed him. It's a 5-year deal, £60,000 a week. If he ever plays for England and plays 10 games, his contract will jump up by an extra 10 grand a week, but he's yet to be capped by England, and I doubt he will be anytime soon. But still happy to have him in regardless, and again, he was one of the primary targets for the summer window when Newcastle went down, mainly for these mental stats here. And again, I think as the perfect CM partner to play alongside Sander Berge, they'll strike up a really nice partnership. Matty Longstaff in, well happy with his signing, one of my favourite of the window. And with just 2 signings left to show you, which one do I go with first? This is quite a difficult choice actually, because we've got our first major wonder kid of the save that's not a real player, a new gen / regen. But then there's also the guy that smashed the club record transfer fee. Oh, 2 difficult choices, but I think I'll go with the wonder kid. And I must say, I am so excited for this young man. Vukan Vasilic, the Serbian. And when I saw this guy doing some manual scouting, I just had to have him. Now, in the first 3 seasons, I'll be honest here, I've not exactly been too good at identifying. Well, I've been quite good at identifying, but being able to snap up any kind of wonder kids that are new gen / regens, because the clubs don't seem to have as many release clauses as they used to in previous FMs. Maybe that's just specific to my save. I'm not seeming to find any good release clauses available for young wonder kids like this. But this is a Serbian striker that have been playing for Red Star Belgrade in Serbia, and as you can see, last season scored 11 goals in 20 games, and already in his first 3 years in professional football, still as a teenager, he scored 14 competitive goals in 32 games. He's already been capped for the Serbian national team as well, and I'm very happy to have this guy in here as a new striker. Now, he's got a driven personality, which is one of my favourite in the game, and he's a very quick lad too. 15 acceleration, 16 pace, with 16 agility and 16 balance as well, with 15 natural fitness and 15 stamina too. Very good indeed. Don't expect him to win too many headers with 9 jumping reach, 10 strength, and just being 6 foot as well, but technically too, long way to go. 13 dribbling, 13 finishing, but 15 first touch is really good already, with 13 for technique too. And mentally, this is where the stats really jump out here. 14 off the ball already on an 18-year-old is very impressive indeed, because that normally sort of grows quicker when they get older and they get more match experience. But also 19 determination, 16 work rate, and 14 anticipation, a crucial stat on a striker. I'm really happy to have this guy in, and as an advanced forward in this team, someone to sort of play balls through to. He's a quick lad, he can finish, as you've seen at Red Star Belgrade, and yeah, some great mental stats as well. And for just 14.5 mil, that was the release clause for Red Star Belgrade. He's arrived on a 5-year deal, 33 grand a week. There is a 102 minimum fee release clause here. Sadly, the agent made that non-negotiable, so I had to accept that in order to get him in. But I certainly wouldn't mind that as a profit for the guy if it comes to it. Vasilic is in though, and what a fantastic signing here. The jury's out. He's got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but he's the first new gen / regen wonder kid I've signed, and I'm very hopeful for the future. Long way to go, but shows very, very, very high promise already. And so for the 6th and final signing of the window, we did smash the club record transfer fee to bring him in. However, as a proven goal scorer last season, 3rd in the Premier League Golden Boot, and already becoming a Carrow Road fans' favourite. Well, let's be honest here, you knew I was going to have to bust the bank wide open to bring him back. Welcome to Carrow Road on a permanent deal. Ryan, Big Kane Brewster, oh yeah, he's here on a permanent deal. And I'm sorry, but I just had to get this guy in, even though it did cost me, oh man, £47 million to snap him up on a permanent deal. But you know what? You've got to look at this right here. The world is Ryan's oyster, because last season on loan at Norwich City, he scored 19 goals in 23 games and again was 3rd in the Golden Boot race. Couldn't get a game in the Championship in his first season with us, but I wanted to bring him back because I saw something in him. And I even said it actually in the first episode of last season. Don't expect him to start that many games, but he has got some really nice stats. And again, if he does get game time, I think he probably will score quite a few goals. And if I had a struggles to adapt in the Premier League, I'm not against going with Ryan Brewster. So yeah, Brewster back on another 1-year loan deal. Let's see if he does something a little bit more noteworthy this season. Talk about positive foreshadowing, right? But yeah, Ryan Brewster, I gave him the game time last season and he didn't let me down, particularly in the biggest of games where, of course, he thrives. And that's how he got the nickname Ryan Big Game Brewster. He enjoys big matches, so important. As we know, Paleo Maria in my Cardiff save, he was the opposite in the first several seasons. He just couldn't score in the big games. But Brewster can. Brewster lives for the big games. He's a leading player for most Premier League sides, so he's already got the ability. And again, he's only turned 22 years old a couple of months ago. Well, a few months ago now. But either way, he's only turned 22 this calendar year. So he's still got an awful long way to go in his career. And he can get better than he is right now. Physically, as we know, Brewster is very, very quick, very agile, got great balance as well. So that's really nice to see. Mentally too, he's got some fantastic mental stats with some really, really nice balance stats up here. With 17 determination, 16 off the ball, 14 teamwork and 16 work rate as well. So he works hard, but he's got the ability alongside the work ethic too. 15 dribbling, 16 finishing, 15 first touch, 14 passing with 15 penalties and 14 for technique as well. He's a clinical goal scorer, Ryan Brewster. He gets the job done when we call upon him in the big games, and I'm so happy to have him here back on a permanent deal. Yes, it was a very expensive transfer, £47 million, but no minimum fee release clause. No minimum fee release clause, so happy about that. But on 90 grand a week, oh, it's our most expensive contract yet. But after last season, I think he justifies it. Now, Liverpool weren't going to let him come back to me on a loan deal for a first straight year. So the only way we were going to get him back this season was via a permanent deal. And I knew we'd have to break the bank to get him, which we did. But I think he will prove to be worth every single penny. Ryan, Big Game Brewster, back at Carrow Road for the third season. But this time, he's here to stay. So yes, in the end we spent £91 million on our 6 new signings. Obviously over half of that being spent on the club record signing Ryan Big Game Brewster, and we only raised 18.25 mil for our sales, primarily Tom Tribal and Grant Hanley as well. So it was a massive net loss in the window of, don't tell me, £72.75 million. How's my maths, guys? Am I getting better? But yeah, I must say that the players we've signed here, dressing room leaders with European and winners experience, great English players here, which is really nice. We like to build a British core. A great young wonder kid to watch out for in the future, and of course, last year's top scorer and third in the Golden Boot race, Ryan Big Game Brewster. So happy to have these guys in, and I really believe as well, our team has never looked better. I'm so excited for this season. We've got some world-class players that are still here, including Emi Buendia and Sander Berger, regarded as world-class players. Some great new signings coming in, and so much young talent here too. What a Norwich team we've got, man. I'm so excited. Now, as for the finances here at Carrow Road, as you can see, we splashed all of the cash that was available to us for our summer transfer budget. So you can see why now the board didn't give us every single penny available in the bank balance. Otherwise, it would have all gone. They knew they can't trust me with the cash. I'm going to splash every single penny. But there's 56 million remaining in the bank balance right now, which is pretty decent, to be fair. And I got all my main targets anyway, so I'm happy. And yeah, I'm just so excited for the new season, man. And take a look at the dynamics here at the club as well. You can see we do have 2 dressing room issues here. Rob Holding wants to leave as he's not getting enough game time. I know you guys knew about that. And also, speaking of keeping the core here, I talked about keeping Buendia here. Emi Buendia, once again, there's a bit of a rift going on between me and Emi. He had some big bids in the summer window from Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal in particular, and I rejected both of the bids. Now, I think we actually got a negotiation with Arsenal to around £60 million, but in the end I decided to walk away from it because it's a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but I just kept on thinking, Buendia throughout the course of the save has been nothing but sublime, and I just don't know if we can find a player that's as good as Emi Buendia. I mean, the fans love him. As we know, he's considered a world-class player, the second in the team. His stats are fantastic, even though now he's got red arrows. But as we know, now that he's unhappy, he's not going to be progressing anymore. And will he put in his good performances? I'm not entirely sure, but I've kept him here sort of against his will because I just don't want to lose him, man. He's just too good. But the team cohesion's very good. The dressing room atmosphere is still very good, and the managerial support is excellent as well. As for the hierarchy right now, the 3 leaders here, Harrison Reed, Ben Godfrey, the captain, captain, and Emi Buendia, who's now jumped up to be a team leader, and you see the boys in a highly influential list as well, including the new man in Arturo Vidal. And as for the social groups too, 4 splits here, not very nice to see, but as the season goes on, I'm sure the lads will begin to gel a little bit more, and we'll have a lot more in the core, and maybe a few in the secondary as well. So as for the team report, as you can see, there are still quite a few weaknesses here, don't get me wrong, but for the most part there are more strength, and it's a more determined group of players with a high amount of teamwork as well, which of course is the most important stuff for me to see. But again, I think this is the best Norwich team we've ever had. You know, I really do. We kept the core of the players here. We added to it with some great talent. And I'm excited, man. I really, really am. Our first season in Europe. And do you know what? I'm going to target us staying here as well. I'm going to target us staying in the Europa League from here on out until we're good enough to break into the Champions League. And after last season, only dropping out of the top 4 on the final day, why not this season? I mean, you never know, right? Again, this is a really good Norwich team. The youngsters developed so well. We've got 2 world-class players in Sander and also Emi Buendia as well. Why can't this team be good enough for Champions League football? I think it's getting there. Maybe not next season, but possibly a season afterwards. I can't see why not. But as to the backroom staff here at Norwich, we've improved this over the summer window, which is nice to see. So we've got a really great coaching staff now, which, as I always say, is very important for player development. As for the competition's overview and expectations for the current season, in the Carabao Cup, the Border Arsenal reached the quarter-final. Yeah, good luck. FA Cup reached the quarter-final. Maybe. You never know. The Europa League, we've got to be competitive. Now, that's really ambiguous. I don't really know what that means. Be competitive? I don't understand that at all. But we're into the group stage though, no playoff to play. We're going straight into it after finishing 5th last year. And the expectation in the Premier League is to finish in the top half. So last year it was just to avoid relegation. Now, the minimum expectation is to be finished in the top half of the Premier League. But really, with the team we've got, that is more than doable. My aim is to stay here. 5th to 7th. That's my objective. Keep ourselves in European football. And whilst I might be feeling quite confident about our upcoming season, what I will say is this. Our pre-season didn't exactly go very well. Not entirely sure why, but as you can see, we only had 3 wins in pre-season, and one of those wins was our annual Get the Testosterone Flowing game against Norwich United. We had some very poor results. We only won 1 of our 4 games in our American tour. We lost to Atletico Madrid. We drew 0-0 with both Celtic and Milan. It was actually quite a poor pre-season, all things considered for Norwich, and hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come this campaign. But of course, as we know, the World Cup is happening in November this season. Here is what's happening with the fixture list. As you can see, we're beginning the season earlier on the 30th of July here away at Turf Moor. We've got quite a few midweek fixtures to come, and with us playing Europa League football as well this season, well, let's just say this. Our boys, they're going to need to keep their fitness up in order to play in what is going to be a very congested start to the campaign. Our final game before the World Cup is at the start of November against West Ham, and then we come back on Boxing Day away at Goodison Park against Everton. So yeah, there's a lot of football to be played before the World Cup break in November, and I'm very concerned about that, I must say. But here's the full fixture list for you guys. It seems quite spread out this season with not a massive cluster of big games sort of all around each other. And yeah, after a quite concerning pre-season, let's just hope the boys have come back a little bit more focused. So I don't think there's anything else to show you. Oh, I do want to show you this though real briefly. Now, if you watched a special in-depth look at the save, not yesterday, on Sunday, if you will, then when I talked about this very briefly, I wanted to see if BSC Young Boys... Where are they here? They're not here. Hold on a second. Here we are, Switzerland. Yeah, in especially in-depth look at the save, I said that the Swiss League hadn't finished yet, and I'll see who won it over the summer, and I was really hoping it was going to be BSC Young Boys, and it was indeed BSC Young Boys winning the title last season. And do you know why they won the title? You know exactly why they won the title. Got a dressing room leader and a real winner in their team. Gelson Fernandez led BSC Young Boys to the Swiss Super League last season. Go on, Gelson. So Fernandez, Theo Walcott, Josip Termic won the Super League with BSC Young Boys last season. Oh, Gelson, when you retire, mate, you are coming straight back to Carrow Road as part of my dressing room staff. But anyway, yeah, it's the first game of the Premier League season. Let's get into it. The first game of the campaign is where we played Chelsea beating Spurs by a goal to nil at Stamford Bridge, and we are away at Turf Turf Moor against Burnley. And let's see if we can begin the campaign off with a win for just the second time in the save so far. So into the game, as you can see, a couple of players have come back from pre-season quite tired and carrying knocks. Buendia had a couple of knocks during pre-season, so he's not going to play the first game of the season. Ida's also far too tired to play, and Ajorke's not fully match fit either. Sam Byram's a little bit tired, so yeah, pre-season didn't go exactly according to plan, but no one's seriously injured. That's the most important thing. And we'll begin the season off playing our normal 4-2-3-1 controlled possession style of play, and let's see how we get on. So Farinas is going to keep his place in goal ahead of Henderson, and the back four will be the same as last year. Lewis, Benkovic, Godfrey and Arrows, with Sander and Matty Longstaff making his debut through the middle. Cantwell's on the left, Dembele's on the right, and Eze now plays through the middle, supporting Rian Big Game Brewster, wearing the number 7 this season, now a permanent Norwich City player. On the bench, Henderson, Holding, Byram, Reed, Thompson, Vasilic and Ajorke as well, and let's get to it. First game of the season, it's Burnley away. Let's begin our first European campaign off with a win away at Turf Moor. Come on, you Canaries. I tell you what, I talked about this last season as well. Burnley have made some brilliant signings throughout the course of this series, haven't they? They got Marcus Alonso and Kyle Walker as two really good experienced fullbacks. Simon Kjær is their captain. Hakan Çalhanoğlu's there. Forsberg is there. Rafinha's just come in. It's a really good team, isn't it? But I believe our team is better. And come on, you Canaries. I want to start the campaign off with a win. So I'm going to passionately say to the boys, we owe Burnley after what happened in our last match. Go out there and get revenge. And let's see if we can begin the campaign off with a win. It's going to be a tough season for us with so many games. I want to start off on the front foot with a big victory here. I am slightly worried about the lack of squad depth at this team. That is probably my biggest concern with it. But do you know what? I think the quality of this team is going to shine through this season. Oh, Godfrey. Godfrey, what's happening, mate? Loses out to Forsberg. We do win it back and then surrender it straight afterwards as Rafinha takes around Lewis and slots it into the bottom corner. Godfrey? Do you remember on the final day against Manchester United, dilly-dallying, losing possession, and the Red Devils taking the lead in that game, the first of their 3? Well, I thought we recovered there. I thought we won it back, but instead, Burnley retained possession, and Rafinha beats Lewis and slots it home. 10 minutes in, what was I just saying? We have the quality. We're 1-0 down already. Fucking hell, lads, come on. I mean, we're not that dependent on Emi Buendia, are we? Already a goal down. And dear, oh dear, awful start for Norwich City. Let's get back in the game straight away, shall we? Karamoko Dembele down the right. He's going to play it into Eze. And now Sander rolls it through to Matty. That's a great ball. And Brewster should have made it 1-1. Sander plays it through to Brewster, who controls well. Flag stays down as Berger plays a brilliant ball to Dembele. And Nick Pope denies him. Fabulous ball by the Norwegian, but Karamoko denied by a great save by Burnley's number 1. We've had a lot more of the ball in this first half. We've had more shots, more on target, but we still trail through Burnley's only shot on target in the entire game. These are the games that frustrate me the most. When we're playing well, we're getting some good chances, but we're just not taking them. And we've only conceded through a single shot on target. Annoying. I'm going to say you've been unlucky so far. They're relaxed, they've gained confidence from that. But fucking hell, lads, come on, I don't want to start off with a loss here away against Burnley. Again, they've got a good team, don't get me wrong, but, you know, we want to stay in European football. And to have a slip-up on match day 1 is not the way to start off. As Rafinha finds Kyle Walker, and he'll play it back to him, and what a big block there by Benkovic. Sander, lovely ball to Max. Flag stays down as Dembele finds Longstaff. Oh, yes! And it's a debut goal for Matty Longstaff. A minute in to the second half. And the former Newcastle midfielder shows you why I'll sign him. It was a box-to-box. I'm really going to like this guy popping up around the edge of the area. And as he does so here, 50 seconds into the second half, eyes on the prize, he finds his first goal in a Norwich City shirt. 1-1. Now let's turn this game on its head. Çalhanoğlu plays it through. And Godfrey. Oh, Godfrey! Ben! What? It's Farinas' ball. What happened there? I think the ball was just scrambling around the floor. Godfrey, mate, what is going on with your first touches? Dembele does really well to control that ball, plucking out of the sky, and roll it through. Oh, and Brewster! Flag stay down, bro. You got to finish those. Berger to Lewis. Oh, tell you what, I think I wasted 47 million. Brewster, come on. Is it time for Vasilic? Bring on the Serbian kid. As Eze crosses and Godfrey will keep the chance alive, but with his first touches, I'm surprised he's not going to boot it back into our half. As he crosses and Nick Pope claims it. Half an hour to go, plenty of time. We've been a far better team here, but Rian Brewster has spurned 3 golden chances today. I think he's had his fill of opportunities. He needs to come off, I think, as Godfrey finds Sander, and we continue to stay in attack mode. Lovely ball by Berger out wide to Cantwell, and Toddle cross, and Brewster, that's it, he's coming off. He's just not played well enough. After last season, I'm very excited, but this has been a poor first full debut by Ryan Brewster today. Vasilic is in, the young wonder kid. Can the Serbian be an instant hero? Oh! Double V off the mark. What, 2 minutes into his Norwich City debut? Eze crosses and Vasilic. Oh, first time volley, top corner. Number 24, Vukasin Vasilic says to Ryan Big Game Brewster. Oh, mate, you better start performing quickly, otherwise I'm going to take over as the main man here. 2-1 Norwich in front. So happy with the response of this Norwich team, but Brewster, I'm not happy about this at all. He only plays well in the big games, Brewster, doesn't he? He doesn't care about these ones. He's not bothered. He doesn't care. He's not arsed as Dembele finds Aarons. And there he is again. Oh, great save by Pope, denying his second goal of the game. How have we not scored more than twice today? We've had 6 clear-cut chances. Eze's corner, headed up in the air, as Godfrey keeps the chance alive, and Vasilic heads over. Well, I think that is going to do it. We are going to win on match day 1, but I tell you what, we made bloody hard work of it, didn't we? Rafinha's opener, cancelled out by 2 goals in the second half. Matty Longstaff and Vasilic, the new boys combining to give us the win today. And I must say I'm very happy with the response of this team. After a poor first half, we certainly turned it around. But for Ryan Big Game Brewster, I'm going to assertively say you let yourself down today and deserve to come off. He only seems to perform well in the big games. Maybe we'll have to save him until the very biggest of clashes. But that was today's episode of the Football Manager series, guys. A big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I think I forgot to mention, by the way, but Sander Berger has now become our vice captain here. I took it off Rob Holding due to the dressing room issues from Rob, and I've given it to Berger. I don't think I'm going to regret that. But anyway, have a great day, though, guys. Much love to you all. And I'll see you for the next episode in the Football Manager series very soon, where we'll return with... I think we should come back with a first European game, don't you? I think we should do that, either at home to West Brom and in our first Europa League group stage game, or the first Europa League group stage game and at home to Watford. I'm not sure, it'll be one of those two, and I'll decide in the very next episode. Have a great day, guys, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode featuring our first European game very soon.